This podcast episode is brought to you by Alpha Affiliates. Alpha Affiliates are an industry-leading iGaming advertiser with a portfolio of 13 diverse and unique brands for affiliates to promote. Since its launch in 2012, Alpha Affiliates has continued to expand into new markets, working with over 15,000 affiliate partners across 38 countries worldwide. Alpha Affiliates is on a mission to become a world-leading affiliate program. Join their affiliate program and earn up to 50% revenue share commission today. Turn your marketing expertise into profit at alpha-affiliates.com.
You're listening to the Affiliate Marketing Podcast, brought to you by AffiverseMedia.com, the chapter and verse of everything you need to know about running a successful affiliate program for your business. This is a podcast for digital and affiliate marketers, publishers, networks, agencies, and MarTech providers who operate, support, or manage affiliate marketing programs around the globe. If you want to launch, scale, and grow a successful affiliate marketing program, you're in the right place. In this podcast, you'll learn how affiliate and partner marketing is constantly changing, and tune in to industry experts who are getting behind our mic to share tactical insights and practical knowledge to help your affiliate program grow. Here you'll discover what's new and trending in affiliate and performance marketing, how to run your affiliate program successfully, and gain industry insights from experts and practitioners from around the globe. The truth is, you simply won't find this information anywhere else. Now here's your award-winning affiliate and performance marketing host, an industry veteran, your affiliate marketing guide, and the founder of Affiverse, Leanne Johnston.
Welcome to this last episode of Season 15 of the Affiliate Marketing Podcast, where I like to give you a run-through of all the best bits, tips, and highlights from this season's esteemed guests. I want to give a heartfelt and very special thanks to Alpha Affiliates for being our season sponsor. Without their support, none of the content and learning that we share would be possible. I also want to thank you, our lovely listeners, for subscribing and supporting us on Apple, Spotify, and all the other channels that you can access our content, such as our website, social media, and newsletters too. From Cape Town to London and LA to New York, Singapore and Australia, we see you tuning in each week from all around the world to learn more about affiliate marketing, and we would love to hear what your views and insights are too. I know you're finding this useful and helpful as you stop me at live events and tell me so. But what I really want to know is, what are the hot topics that you want us to delve deeper into, and how can we help you to keep growing your affiliate programs worldwide? Please take a moment after listening to this highlights reel to answer these questions in the blog transcribe link on AffiverseMedia.com. Your input will help us to tailor our content and ensure that it remains relevant and useful for you. Now, on with this show and a reminder of all that we've shared in this season. Affiliate marketing is an all-encompassing industry, and we've made big leaps in taking advantage of all that it has to offer. We kicked off this season by interviewing Alpha Affiliates, our sponsors, and their senior affiliate manager, Roman Bespalov, who shared his insights about what it means to be an affiliate manager today, how they're investing in building relationships globally, and what it takes to prepare for a successful event, giving you all a few extra pointers to maximize your ROI from the next affiliate event that you're attending to. We're all gearing up for some of the industry's biggest affiliate events. What are some of the reasons why you like going to these, and how is your team leveraging events to grow your affiliate program?
And the last year, we were at a lot of conferences, around 7, as I remember. We were at IGB London. We were at Sigma Dubai, AW Summit Bucharest, Sigma Americans in Brazil, IGB Amsterdam, SBC Barcelona, and the last one was Sigma Malta. Also, we started to publish more experts articles in different media sources. At this conference, we meet with a lot of iGaming media. We made some interview, some kind of podcast, and about what we actually do for our affiliates. Of course, we trying to build a great partnership, not only about business. Of course, and the third thing, it should be a human relationship. So when you meet with your best partner, not only with the best partners, with all partners, you have to be just yourself. You have to spend time with him, maybe go to the dinner. We have a lot of dinners with our affiliates, to party, and also to make some interesting activities to not only for affiliates. Maybe it will be a random guy who just walking around this conference. For example, in the last conference, we had a cash machine, and it was like a tournament where you can win money. You had 1 minute to bring all of the banknotes and win money. And as I remember, in the first day, one guy won around 160 euros, something like this. Of course, we trying to make it more friendly for all, for partners, for some random guys, for just to make industry more open, more interesting for some other people who are not in the sphere right now. So it's a lot of things that you can do.
To keep it real, sometimes we overcomplicate the marketing of our affiliate programs and we want to do everything, be everything. And actually, sometimes it's just about keeping it real and holding a very simple conversation and starting a conversation around something of interest that's of interest to the partner, not necessarily to you. You've invested quite heavily, your marketing team behind your program has invested quite heavily in kind of publishing expert articles in multiple publications and releasing marketing strategies that attract partners to you as well so that you can communicate with them. So do you think that communication is a very important part of your program marketing strategy for this year?
One of the best things that we did in last year, of course, because we just started it, we launched our YouTube channel also. We made a video blog from Dubai, Sigma Dubai. And yes, we started a lot of media activity, which we never did before.
So it's kind of like opening the door behind the scenes and actually getting your team out there to go and actually connect with new partners and tell the story of Alpha Affiliates. I was so pleased to have Wade Tonkin from Fanatics as my second guest in this season. We discussed how getting out of your comfort zone can help you expand your affiliate programs by unlocking new traffic sources and aiming for bigger partners to move into niche sectors. I also strongly encourage you to review this episode as Wade gave us a full 10-step action plan on how to grow your affiliate program successfully. And I'd love to see if any of you have implemented any of these recently. Are there some that you think you could do better or do again? Here I summarize Wade's main points on growing affiliate sources. However, one question remains. How do you grow your business after exhausting what you think are your only avenues for growth? Tune in and listen to what Wade says about that. Growing a program from 0 to 6 million takes a certain set of skills. And then taking that program from 6 to 100 million plus, international, global, teams all around the world, is a different set of skills. Now, sometimes I speak to clients and they go, well, we're already working with all of the affiliates. Like, I cannot tell you how many times I've had that conversation. Explain how you get from 6 million to 100 million by finding new traffic sources and where do you look? And you've mentioned one of them. We're kind of looking at brand-to-brand partnerships and actually leveraging affiliates in other programs that are complementary to yours. You've spoken about offline to online and how you can leverage that in a performance-based channel. But where the heck do you find traffic from to go from 6 million to 100 million affiliate? Because that's really the kind of ultimate how-to guide of how to grow your affiliate business and where I want to get into the nuts and bolts.
I think that there's a couple directions we can go with that. I think one of them is scaling up the approach with technology and being able to get into additional resources and being able to use different tech tools to be able to identify potential partners at scale. So if you're using a tool like a Publisher Discovery, or we use Media Rails, or the internal tools within your platform, because Impact's got really good prospecting stuff now, figuring out how you can do more than just go out and look for people one by one on Google and be able to reach out to them versus taking it to the system identified, we put a big net out there and today the system identified 30 people that we should be talking to. Taking that mindset from, I'm going to do this one by one, being very, very targeted to how can we make this programmatic? How can we reach out to a lot of people across a bunch of different topics and do that effectively at scale? That's a piece of it for sure. The other piece that I would say is that as the profile of the program grows, you can definitely get yourself into bigger relationships and bigger partners, bigger potential partners that can move the needle a lot further. We'll be willing to have that conversation because we've been doing, for instance, we talk about, kind of traditional media, So newspapers, TV stations, radio stations, old school media. I think we're a relative pioneer in working with partners like that, just because by virtue of what we do in the sports world, one of the things we identified pretty early on, even before I got to Fanatics, was, hey, newspapers do coverage of local sports. So they've got access to sports fans. So that would be a pretty cool type of partner to have in the bag. When I came to Fanatics, we already had a few of those partnerships, but we've really ramped up going after those. And we've taken it from, going after individual local newspapers to, hey, what if we could talk to a newspaper group and do the deal at the high level, and then do a deal so that one person is overseeing that whole relationship, and then they take care of all the working with the locals for me. And so it's gone from having 3 or 4 independent relationships that were with big publishers to, well, who owns those guys? Who owns that group?
One of the most relevant and also scary subjects in affiliate marketing is fraud. How can we foresee it and how can we avoid it? And when it happens, what must we do to reverse its impact? I was chatting to Rich Khan, the CEO of Anura.io, and as always, it's a pleasure to hear his knowledge and talks about this subject and how to confront it. In this next clip, I posed the question of how big of an issue fraud really is. Listen into what Rich has to say about it, because I think it will blow your minds.
But also just setting the scene to understand what a big issue fraud is. And I know you see the industry, data across the entire industry through your platform. Is this actually a pandemic that we still need to be highly attuned to and aware of? And do you see it impacting costs in terms of player acquisition? Because I've certainly seen player acquisition costs have increased. They've almost tripled in the last 3 years, to be honest, in terms of CPA per customer in multiple different industries that we work in. Do you think that's as a result of the fraud, because you get to see that kind of breadth and depth?
From what we're seeing, yes. Just follow the data. So I look at this for probably 2014, 15, and I have the sheets we can go back and look at. But when fraud was first being tracked, it was mid-2010s, right? So you're probably 13, 14, 15, something like that. They were tracking it. Different companies were actually putting a valuation on it. And there's a lot of companies that do data, like Statistica, and a lot of these companies that do reports. You have the AMA, you have the IAB, the MRC. They're all tracking this kind of event. And we try to put a global number on it. And in those first early years where they started tracking it, you were looking at fraud being about 5 or 6 billion a year, which is a big number.
That is.
Right? So it's a lot of money being stolen, and there's obviously a reason behind it. And now what started happening is, and I forget the year, but I think it was 2018, 19, it started to spike and grow exponentially to the point of last year alone tipped over $100 billion in stolen money across all channels, not just affiliates, programmatic, all channels across the board. It's been estimated to be over $100 billion. Now, last year was the first year as a global society we tipped over $500 billion. So if you do the simple math, based on those two numbers, you're looking at 20% of every dollar spent on digital marketing was lost to fraud. So these channels are growing. So what we're seeing is the percentage of the market spend that's being caught by fraud is growing exponentially. So these guys are getting more and more sophisticated about how they do their attacks. And so it's not just looking at a simple IP address. People look, hey, I'm going to use an IP scanning tool because they're cheap, they're easy to use. But you know what? Walk into a Starbucks, walk into a conference, walk into a business. You all share the same IP address. So if you ban a Starbucks, you're potentially missing out on a lot of good traffic. What about a cell tower? How many people use that same tower in a day that's piped off a single IP address? Again, huge amounts of loss. So IP addresses are not the way to go. Now, sometimes that's all you have to go on, and so you kind of use something like that. But typically what you want to do is you want to be able to touch the visitor, collect all kinds of useful information so you can really identify if they're fake or real or fake. Because like you were talking about affiliate managers, they work with a source who's an affiliate. So they're managing that affiliate. And this affiliate's going to be somebody they can meet at a trade show, they go out to lunch with, they have good webinar conversations, they're educating the industry. So you're like, I know this guy's legit. Where does he get his traffic from? That's where the fraud comes from.
Next up on the mic was the lovely Valerie Fly, where we had such a light-hearted conversation on what it means to be a female in a high-ranking affiliate marketing position. And she gave some takeaways from her experience on how to succeed in this fast-paced industry. Coming into a new industry can be a little bit daunting for anybody, and it's impossible to learn everything that you need to know about affiliate marketing all at once. Listen in as Valerie talks about the steps affiliate managers and those entering this industry can take to improve themselves and to also maintain a positive mindset. So if you're joining a new company, it's almost like a brand new learning curve, even if you do know stuff about affiliate marketing. So it's a very much a kind of role that depends on people being curious about learning new things, because there is going to be a huge learning curve whenever you join a new company.
Yeah, you're learning a lot, but at the same time, I mean, it's not something like, I don't know, learning for 3 months, super deep courses and something super difficult. I think everybody can just read a little bit and use some new words. It's not so much information. So I thought it's okay to understand and learn it. And of course, it's important to get and easier to work on the team. So when your other team sit just next to you, you always ask questions. And that you don't need to learn everything in one day, but you always ask someone, some other your colleagues, and they reply and help you. And then you make little notes. So it helps you a lot.
Yeah. So what does it take? I mean, so there's a big, huge learning curve. Okay. So you're coming into the industry, you're learning lots of different things. You're learning to speak almost like a different language that affiliates speak, but what about building a career as a successful affiliate manager, in particular as a female leader, because you also are a senior manager in your company. So what are the skill sets that you need to learn in order to kind of step up after you've joined the industry in order to kind of teach others that are coming in after you?
It's an interesting question because, especially 6 years ago, I believe that there were more men in the industry than women. Still now there are more men than women, but like 6 years ago, it was like very little number of women. Now it's growing more and more. And sometimes like now guys think, oh, you're a girl, it's easier for you to communicate with affiliates. So maybe, I mean, of course, with some partners, we have a very long-lasting relationship, and I can know some details about, for example, we have a partner. He named his dog Lucky due to our casino, Lucky Casino. Usually, even if we have networks, our networks are more polite and business level, I think so.
Yeah. So understanding the industry and understanding how to position yourself as an affiliate manager is quite important, because you need to have very good relationship skills to understand when you can be friendly and when you can be, more jovial with new partners, and when you have to present a business case and actually, get deep into the numbers and start talking about commercials and being a little bit more corporate with different types of affiliates. Next in our lineup, we welcomed Baker's King's Managing Director, Stuart Allen, and Client Service Manager, Adrian Juster, in a conversation focused on how to craft highly converting creatives for your affiliate program. Now, I've always been fascinated by how psychology drives sales, and design fits right in the middle of this as we strive as marketers to convert more customers online. There's no denying that eye-catching colors and imagery impact conversion. One thing to keep in mind is to balance this out so as not to overwhelm and put your customers off with busy designs and mismatched graphics. So how can you optimize your campaigns and landing pages for your affiliates to succeed? Listening to this next clip, we'll re-dug a little bit deeper into what can be considered as best practices in getting the best out of your creative and designs. And I want you guys to walk us through some of the basics around this that relates to promo design, landing pages, email headers, banners, like the typical stuff that affiliate managers are really asking for. What are the things that are working well right now that you guys see? Because obviously you're working across a broad spectrum of different types of clients in the gaming industry, but do the basic things still apply? Are they still the things that work today? Making sure that your CTA is clear, making sure that there's not too many words on a banner. Like, what are some of the best practices that you would want to see affiliate managers kind of adhere to in their promotional campaigns and creative design requests?
So, yeah, I would say that for sure, there's certain rules that still apply, since day one, and have kind of come over from print days even, and that's things like consistency with your branding, how you present yourself, the fonts you use, your brand colors. And I suppose that all kind of comes from the style guide and having a brand guide that you share with people who are going to work on your banners and creative work for you. I think what's becoming more important, or more so over the last decade or so, is just very high quality imagery, both from a kind of resolution quality point of view, but also just very high standards. Gives off the impression that your brand is a bit more trustworthy. And, I think we all associate bad quality image both in resolution and composition as being like a bit fishy. Everyone's, very suspicious of anything that isn't looking very sharp and clean and clear. So that would be something to take into consideration. I think also your use of color.
So just extrapolate on that. Extrapolate on the use of color. What colors are good colors? What colors are bad colors? Because remember, affiliate managers, they're not taught the 101 of design. This is why we've got you guys on here, is to actually dig into the what's good and what's bad and why that is. So let's talk about colors a little bit, because I think that's important.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say there's good and bad colors, but there's obviously good and bad usage of colors in certain situations. There's certain colors that, of course, give a bit of an emotional response, like bright, vivid, what we would say is the primary colors, like reds and greens and blues and things like that. And then I suppose it depends on which avenue you're in. If you're in sort of more healthcare, then you're leaning more towards greens and elements of healing, and it evokes sort of feelings and thoughts like that. Whereas, us in the iGaming industry, for instance, we quite driven by, or try to drive people through excitement. So it's a lot more reds and oranges and purples and bright, kind of almost neon colors. So it's a very open-ended questions. There's a lot of research and stuff that's done with this, and I suppose this can be something that I would encourage people to have a conversation with their creative team, whoever they end up using.
One lesson learned from the next episode is that the Asian market cannot be overlooked. There is so much opportunity for affiliate marketing there, and one of the best sources of knowledge is my next guest, who highlighted how incredibly knowledgeable she is about this industry. CEO of the Commission, Parul Bhargava. Our conversation centered around the differences between the Asian and European affiliate markets, localization, how to promote successful strategies, and what is to come for Asia as the industry continues to expand. Listen to this next clip where we discuss what marketers need to understand when approaching the Asian market. What are some of the tactical approaches and strategies that you would advise to affiliate managers listening to this on the brand side, or not network side, but brand side? Make sure that they kind of have all of their ducks in a row. So you spoke about the fact that language wasn't really necessary, but that imagery was. What are some of the other things that you need to kind of understand? Payments, that was another one that you had mentioned. Is there anything else that marketers need to really understand before they kind of leap over?
One very big differentiating factor between, let's say Europe, which is a big industry for gaming, and Asia is also the buying capacity and the first deposit that, come in, because they are considerably smaller. And here in the Asian countries, what really needs to be focused on is the lifetime value of a customer rather than the first deposit. So I think that is also one thing that I really emphasize to brands, that in the European market, if they have a certain percentage of lead to first time deposit or the value of first time deposit, they should actually reduce it to 1/10 when they talk about the emerging markets in Asia, because and it fits the analogy, because the marketing cost also is very, very low as compared to European market. So the metric falls in place. Only the most interesting factor or the most important metric that adds spice to the whole game is the volumes. So when we talk about your marketing costs are much lower, but your, lead to deposits are much lower, and the first deposit also is much lower, but the volumes are very, very high. And the brands who are willing to invest in that volume game and come to a volumetric stage where the whole funnel falls in place and is, really profitable, I think it would match the profit that they would see in other developed countries.
I love the fact that you've mentioned that, because I know personally that one of your pet peeves is the fact that brands just think they're going to launch and a program is going to emerge and millions of sales are going to come straight away. So I think what I'm hearing here is that in Asia, you've got to be testing and learning and then scaling and then getting to the point where you can actually look at that value metric. And that is a very different mindset to what we have here in European markets and in the US as well, especially for acquisition marketers, because we're always tasked with, what's the first purchase or the average basket value or first deposit option. We're always looking at that first metric, and maybe it's a case of a mindset change, because you need to be thinking about the localized market in a way that makes sense for that localized market. So you can't expect to tar every region that you work in when you're taking your program global with the same brush, because the value metrics are just going to be completely different when they're back up. My next guest is a force to be reckoned with, none other than Jenny Gonzalez, the co-founder and CEO of Rock Ahead. It had been my pleasure to be speaking with her at AWC in Dubai in February too, and she's one of the most wickedly smart affiliate OGs that I've ever had the pleasure to meet. As is commonplace in my interviews, I love to hear firsthand how a guest has entered the industry and the different roles that they've undertaken that have driven them to where they are now. And this time, Jenny's story did not disappoint. She candidly explained the sacrifices and choices that she's made to be a successful CEO in the affiliate marketing industry, whilst highlighting the importance of staying up to date with changes and learning at every step of the way for promoting your own long-term success. In this next clip, Jenny gave a rundown of her journey in the affiliate marketing industry and what it takes to succeed. I hope that you'll enjoy her story as much as I did.
So I'm originally from Venezuela, and usually when we finish high school, we tend to do a year abroad to learn a language, which for me was English. And so when I was 16, I left Venezuela to do that gap year, learn English, and I went to the States. But also this aligned with some political things that happened about 20 some years ago. And after that first year, I ended up pretty much deciding to stay abroad and not going back to my country. So originally I wanted to be an ambassador. Okay. And I had all these like crazy dreams. And then I realized that one, my political views were not aligned with everything that was going down with my country. And also I was not nearly as connected as I needed to be an ambassador. So I became a snowboarder and I studied. Eventually I moved to Europe in like 2006. And I was working as an executive assistant at this office. And it was this guy, this mysterious guy, whose job nobody understood, but seemed to have the time of his life. And I was like, I don't know what he does, but that is exactly what I want to do. He just had like the best time. He was really smart and like he traveled for work and he did this like cool thing. And I made a lot of money for the company. And pretty much like he just had so much freedom. And I worked out that he was the affiliate manager for the company. He ran the affiliate program. And I was so fascinated by whatever it was that he did. And I decided to teach myself how to be him. And I started like doing lots of research. We're talking 20 years ago, not a lot of information online. There was no forums. There was none of that. Or the forums that were there were very advanced. Like there was nothing for newbies. So I started doing like Google AdWords courses and like just teaching myself how the internet worked. Yeah. And little by little, I started like going into new opportunities. Like I ended up being an affiliate manager. I took over somebody else's job just because I had like a tiny fraction of affiliates, and went to my first conference. And little by little, I went through pretty much every single position there is. And I worked my way from executive assistant to CEO over 10 years.
And I just want to like tell anybody listening to this podcast, people look at me and you in the industry and they go, wow, you've learned such a lot. But we literally had to teach ourselves affiliate marketing. And actually, it's still very much the case today. You come into this industry as an affiliate manager, you maybe, fall into it by accident when you were a student, then you were a snowboarder, and then all of a sudden you started teaching yourself how to be an affiliate manager. But the real beauty of this industry is that you can, from an affiliate executive or affiliate management role, get all the way up to CEO role, which is what both of us have done. So there's really a great opportunity for people to come into this industry and to really like grab hold of knowledge,
knowledge is power, and really like build a successful career for yourselves. Because if you're really good at building relationships, this industry is for you.
The Affiliate Marketing Podcast aims to cover all aspects of the affiliate industry and regulation across multiple different markets. And in this next episode, I focused our conversation around the Netherlands, where Floris Assis from BetterWorldCasinos.com and Stephen Froelich from XY Legal Solutions focused on the regulation landscape and current trends in that area. The funny thing is that these guys didn't really need me there at all, as this episode had a major tech failure that booted me out of our podcast studio. Needless to say, they did a cracking job and produced an informative and insightful update on the affiliate state of the nation in the Netherlands. Just as we saw in the Asian market differing dramatically, listen here for some tips and strategies going forward if you're going to be working in the Netherlands anytime soon.
Let's dive into the point of language that you just point out. Because Dutch, yes, most Dutch people have a high level of English, but still, especially as an affiliate, you want to establish trust. And trust is best established when you approach somebody in their own native language. And especially now in the times of AI, language models, it's very easy to just throw things to translators. And when this whole thing started, I heard a lot of content creators saying like, oh, what's going to happen to my profession? Well, they're all still there and we still need them very hard because language models are mainly trained on English. So their Dutch is absolutely not good enough. And you need good copy and good content writers to provide proper Dutch content. So this is first thing not to be underestimated. I would, if you're serious about approaching the Dutch market, you would need to do it in Dutch. That's my recommendation number one. Then, funny, I also mentioned that it's such a hot market now, and it's been 2.5 years already since legislation and iGaming. And what I've saw from the affiliate point of view is that it was already a very interesting market before with the gray markets, with the gray brands, and with a very high value of players. And just face it, a lot of Dutch people gamble and like to gamble. So what we immediately saw after the regulation is that a lot of new players appeared, that link building in no time, a lot of websites were saturated with links. Everybody discovered that you can earn a lot of money with selling links and that the gambling sites were very eager to buy those links. So that became a lot more difficult to compete on that aspect. And then, we have to consider the rules in the Netherlands, presumably that we only promote the legal brands, which I only do. I don't focus on gray markets. And then, there are the standard laws required regarding gambling advertising. But there is so far very little attention for the affiliates specifically. And I have the feeling, and sure Stephen can comment more on that it's something that fortunately is not that well yet understood by maybe the politicians who need to decide over these things.
You mean the importance of affiliation for the Dutch market? Yeah. Funny thing is that when I received some questions for this podcast, or at least some topics, there was one like, okay, what would make the Dutch market interesting for affiliates? And of course, to be completely honest, the market is being heavily regulated, which makes it, of course, a little bit more difficult to get a position. It's, the regulations are hard on affiliates as well. But the other side of things is, of course, that the unfocused advertising is going to disappear within a couple of years. So from the 1st of July onwards, it will not be possible to sponsor events anymore. From the 1st of July 25 onwards, it's not possible to sponsor sports and the t-shirts and stuff like that. On the one side, you could say it's a hard market for affiliates because there are a lot of regulations. But on the other side, the only, acquisition tool left will be a focused one. And at some point, and this means that operators are probably going to be interested in working with affiliates more and more, simply because there are not really any other acquisition tools left. And that's a legit point making the affiliate sector interesting in the Netherlands.
My last guest of the season, we welcome Vitaly Anisin to discuss all things content marketing and focusing more clearly on building your personal brand as an ambassador for your company and your affiliate program. I'll leave you with this last clip of the season where we highlighted what makes successful PR by connecting and building a much deeper relationship between the product and the consumer, and how affiliate managers should leverage this to market their own affiliate programs too. I'm a big believer that affiliate managers have to be brand ambassadors for their affiliate programs. If you're not a natural content writer, PR is a really good way for your company to help to build your brand, build your personal brand as an affiliate manager, so that when you're out on the showroom floor and you're meeting new affiliates, they actually know who you are and what you stand for. So PR isn't necessarily just about, oh, we have new products, or we've got new games, or we've got new teams joining our thing. I kind of feel like that's more corporate PR. But what we need to do is educate affiliate managers on how to build brand ambassador PR. Like, how do they actually get into other people's podcasts, speak at events? And that's some of the stuff that like you're busy curating for your team and getting your team out, to actually build the brand ambassadorship that sits behind your affiliate program.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And on top of that, I just think that the things you mentioned, like when people treat PR as here's a new product, here's a new game, it doesn't work that way anymore. People just not interested in just that simple promotion. Like, people need to connect to a person, to connect to a brand through a person.
Is that because, the old age saying, people buy people still at the end of the day? They buy the personality, they buy who's behind the brand almost. So the brand and the person, or the people in your affiliate team, actually need to collide, and they need to work together to actually promote the brand and the business behind the brand. Because that's the other thing that I think is very important about why I love content marketing so much, is because it is a cheap and very easy way to differentiate your brand from everybody else by what you say and what you put out into the marketplace, and how you repeat that authentically and then tie it back to your affiliate team, who then goes out on the showroom floor and meets new partners. And you spoke about it actually earlier, about tone of voice. That whole tone of voice has to be actually highly curated in order to be successful in PR, correct?
Definitely, yeah. And simultaneously, I still think that still have to do that. Like, here's a new game, here's a new feature, because it's still what the product is about. Mm-hmm. But from my perspective, the trick is to tie these topics and features to your brand identity. So it's about saying we are innovative, we are creative, we are responsible for our audience. We are listening to our audience. And that's why our new feature is implemented like this, and so on. It's about connecting the product to the brand image and simultaneously to the audience.
Yeah.
So that's the key to good PR in general, in my perspective.
And there you have it. Another insightful season of the Affiliate Marketing Podcast, and all the insights that we've shared drawn to a close. I really hope that you've enjoyed this season and took away some valuable insights to elevate and amplify your affiliate marketing programs. I'd love to give a special thanks to our sponsors, Alpha Affiliates, and all of the lovely guests that joined me on this mic, helping our community to learn together and get down to the nitty-gritty of this wonderful industry. If you're eager for more, check us out on your preferred podcast platform, and I invite you to join me next week when I'll be kicking off season 16 with more exciting topics and more interesting, clever OGs and guests to delight you with. Until then, give us a 5-star review if you're liking what we share. Tell your friends about it too, because the more people we can engage and help, the better. Thank you so much for listening. Discover affiliate mastery at AM Leaders. Join us on the 16th of April in Miami for a game-changing affiliate manager training workshop, where you can learn from industry leaders, fine-tune your affiliate program management skills, and stay ahead of the latest affiliate marketing trends in this tell-all Chatham House Rules event. Running in partnership with Hello Partner and Afterverse, this interactive workshop is your path to affiliate program success. Don't miss out on this opportunity to learn from the best minds in the affiliate marketing industry. Tickets are just $495 for the early bird pricing, or $695 for the standard rate, but book a bundle bundle ticket for PI Live and AM Leaders, and you'll also save $50 when booking a PI Live and AML Leaders bundle ticket. Visit afterversemedia.com. Click the link in the podcast transcribe and book your seat today.
That's a wrap for this week's Affiliate Marketing Podcast. If you're loving what we're putting down, why not head over to Apple iTunes and give us a 5-star review? Make sure to subscribe to our podcast and our YouTube channel so you never miss another insightful episode or one of our free webinars ever again. Tune in next week for more digital affiliate marketing insights, trends, tips, and content to keep your affiliate and performance marketing fresh and your partners driving consistent sales.